Hello everyone, I am Chetan from Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering from Bangalore, and I am going to explain the subject and the artificial intelligence, and the topic is proportional logic to the plausible reasoning, a uniqueness theorem. Abstract, we examine the questions of how the proportional logic might be extended to a logical of plausible reasoning and advance four conditions that any such extension had to meet each in a condition that some future is a classical proportional logic should be pursued in a extension logic. As such, the conditions are less probabilistic and similar than those of Gauss theorem, and its variant has with Gauss theorem our requirements are sufficient to the entail that the extension logic must be the improposicated to the probability theorem. We feature get numerical value for the probabilities in the value specific sense. It happens that we recover the classical definitions of probability as a theorem and the truth assignments which satisfy the server. They are the possible cases. Introduction. The text inacquire and the extension classical proportional logic to the range of certain using probability theorem deeply rooted in the concepts of Polaya and Cox, and there are the probability rules understand as a set of definitive constituent and interfaces as refining rather than the those calculations for the frequency of the random variable. Here, the aim is of extending the logical consequences related one oriented towards certainty, so it could priority degrees of capability. These would give rise to a concept known as a function, where A is a judge how plausible a sentence and is knowing the other sentence or proportionals called the conducting and X is actually true. It may be a true of consequences we intend to define in general and then particular cases true of consequences recall for purpose of these questions, and these approaches treats probability as a continuum extensions of logic with coherent rules guiding all degrees of probability interfaces, and the aims of codifying probability theorem has an essential necessary extension of a classical proportional logic. Research questions. Finding a general method of constructing the needed of sequences of approximating the formulas for any computable probability measures. 1022 to extension our languages of proportional formulas to express the measurable sets behind just the cylinder sets, while ensuring that PAX remains computable as appropriate for a logical system. Literature review R1. If X and Y are the logical equivalent and A and B are the logical equivalent, assuming X, then A X is equals to B. R2. We may define a new proportional symbol without affecting the possibility of any proportions that does not mention that the symbol uh, sequences is the proportional symbol not appearing in AX or E. Adding irregular informations to the premise does not affect the quality of sequentially if Y is a satisfiable proportional formula that uses no proportional symbol occurring in A or X. Data analysis and finding. And in the data analysis and finding logical probability, he mentions two nations of a probability. Probability one is a probability, the degree of configure confirmation of hypothesis H with the respective to an evidence statement E, and the probability to is related frequency. Carnap was seeking the general inductive rule. By the rule which the given the record of past results, one can make the best possible prediction of future ones. But he never rises to the level of seeing that different inductive rules corresponding to the different prior information. It seems to as obvious that this is a primary fact controlling induction without which the problem cannot even we started, much less solved. There is no general inductive rules. Yet neither than the term prior information nor the concepts ever appears in Carnap's expositions. The function f is an objective between I and v executed v to ensure that the rationals and m to n having two possible binary expansions. Furthermore, both f and f minus 1 are the measurable, where a and whether b and c are measurable. Finally, if f is a measurable preserving and other, therefore we can apply theorem 26 and find out the measurable sets. Consider any finite set of symbols if it contains k additional symbols behind those in the t, then the and and it can be symbols appearing in a and x, where evaluating a and x we need to consider the requirements in the terms. And conclusions, it serves also the strengthen the cases that the natural expectations of CPL is probability theorem. For possibility reasoning, the present symbol meets simple, obviously inactive requirements ordered to quarrel with then other proportionals while retaining the good features of CPL of courses. Essential to this strategy is the relevant of probability between the depends all of the agreements and on the relevant information provided by the arguments. And this is the current method from the Carnap's approaches. And the concept's probability with the statement of ordering, then it is also capable of alignment with the rational probabilities and thereby clarifies the classical definitions of probability by overcoming and by the extraction of uniform finite probabilities and limited processes in order to treat infinite domains, which is also ensured by the measure theory. And thank you.